We're heading back to Film Country this week, the Frankfurt-Ilion Mohawk area, starting with Frankfurt. We head over the hills and find ourselves at Frankfurt Hill at the new old grocery store now called Papa Bear's, and it's never too early for a burger hot off the grill.
Just across the road from Papa Bear's, behind the volunteer fire department, the Frankfurt Hill Volunteer Fire Department, there's another jewel up here in the hills, and it's the one-room schoolhouse that goes way back to 1843.
We're all the sons of immigrants, the sons of the native land.
We continue through Frankfurt's rolling hills and discover that a new farm has sprung up. Brickhouse Acres is a greenhouse growing annuals, perennials, herbs, and vegetables, and a berry farm with naturally grown strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries.
Well, a few years ago, we were looking for a homestead-type property where our family was getting a little larger and we wanted them to grow up on a property where we could have them do a little work, they could learn the value of work. So we were looking around and we found this property which had a berry farm already going on it, which was wonderful because one of the things that we wanted to do was start a berry farm on the property. So in addition, we also had a greenhouse business on this property, so we spent a season learning with the previous owners and have progressed the business to where it is today. We are a no-spray operation. We've been working for years to try to keep it to as clean as possible. We've got young children. We don't want them to be dealing with sprays or anything of that sort, and we don't want to eat it. So what we've been doing is we've gone to no spray, we do a lot of hand weeding, and one of our most recent improvements is we brought in a bunch of weeder geese. And those weeder geese actually go in and they'll eat the grasses, the dandelions, a lot of the new growth of weeds, but they'll leave the strawberry plants alone, which is a wonderful thing. So they go in, they do their job. Once they've done their job, we go in, we hit the big stuff by hand so that we can just clean up the patch and make it look very nice for the customers. One of the things that we've noticed in going to other people's garden centers is that you find the same thing everywhere. And we figure we're small, we're different, we need to find a niche. Well, we like things that are different, and my wife hand selects many of the different flowers that we use, in fact all of the flowers, but because we're small we're able to seed the flowers ourselves, which means we can start and find varieties that other people do not carry. A number of those things include we have 5 different varieties of amaranth, or otherwise known as Love Lies Bleeding this year. We have Datura, which is called the Devil's Trumpet, which turns into what I call an annual bush. It gets huge with beautiful flowers. We just find a variety of things, and when people come here, they realize they may not be able to buy 100 flats of impatiens, but they can find a flower that they're not going to find anywhere else.
There are all kinds of unusual plants and herbs here, like this, which is called stevia. It's a sweet herb, and it is, I'm told, a substitute for sugar. Let me see if it's really authentic. That is really good and very, very sweet. Try it in your coffee or your tea.
I'm gonna dirty my fingers, paint my toes, stay up all night and watch the light explode. I'm gonna eat lots of cherries, I'm gonna see the town, I'm gonna lay in the sun till my skin.
High above the valley is the Frankfurt Highland Airport. It's a small airstrip and doesn't see a tremendous amount of traffic, but those who use it are thrilled it's here.
The airport probably started in the late 40s, early 50s by the Lights family. Laddie, interestingly enough, never flew or became a pilot, but he had a love for aviation, so he built an airport. And at first it was a grass runway, and I think probably in the mid-50s or so they blacktopped it and made a blacktop runway, which is about 2,700 feet long. And general aviation basically flies in and out of here. At one time there were some sailplanes and gliders that flew in and out of here. Now that's mostly just for private use. Interestingly enough, with the county airport being so far away, there are a lot of people. Yesterday some people came from Connecticut and a few days ago from Pennsylvania and used this airport because it's convenient to Frankfurt and all the way down through the valley, as well as is a convenient stop for Utica. No, airports are kind of a dying breed all over the country. The cost of keeping them operational is quite expensive, and a lot of them are near fairly large cities, so the land is very desirable for development in housing or shopping centers or whatever. We're very fortunate here that they're not trying to develop the land for any other use. The government has a program to save these airports in the state as well, and the state is going to help us out with the new runway here, and eventually we're going to put up some T hangars for use. Today we're going to have a pancake breakfast here sponsored by Experimental Aircraft Association from 8 to noon, and everybody is welcome, rain or shine. If it rains, we just stay in the hangar and we talk aircraft, but it should be a lot of fun. We normally get a lot of experimentals. Sometimes some guys come in parachutes and a few powered parachutes, which are an interesting thing. So there's a little bit of all kind of aviation that will be here today, and hopefully everybody will have a few pancakes and eggs and have a good time, talk flying, and just enjoy the day.
Do you have to be a pilot?
No, you don't have to be a pilot. Anybody who has an interest in aviation or wants a cheap breakfast, because we sell it for like $5 or $6 all you could eat. So we're not interested in making money. We're just interested in making friends.
Frankfort is also home to the Mohawk Valley Garden Club that meets regularly at the Frankfort Free Library. This Wednesday, the club will be at the Herkimer home for afternoon tea. Call club president Bonnie Wicks at 894-8828 for information and to make your reservation. A great Sunday drive is traveling through Frankfurt Gorge along the scenic winding State Route 171. We also hear it's fun to explore the gorge and the creek that created it, Moyer Creek.
If you go down to the railroad track.
It's been 5 years, thereabouts, since we visited the balloon farm here in Frankfurt. So we thought we'd drop in today to visit with the Menine sisters again. Now I found out today, as you probably know, Frankfurt is very Italian. The Menine sisters are really the Menino sisters, and they prepared for me some of the most fantastic homemade Italian pastries, to which I say thank you. The balloon farm is a bed and breakfast, and it's called the balloon farm because it was here that Professor Myers lived. Professor Myers was the gentleman who made the balloons, the hot air balloons. They would bring them out from inside the house to dry, and when they were out here, they looked like mushrooms. Therefore, it became known as the mushroom farm, and later the balloon farm. Professor Myers' wife, Carlotta, was America's first lady aeronaut. She would go up into the balloons here in Frankfurt for entertainment purposes, and people would come from miles around to watch the extravaganza.
Just across the street from the balloon farm is the Herkimer County Fairgrounds. Although the county fair isn't until August, there's always something going on here. This Wednesday is the annual senior picnic. There's free donuts and coffee at 10 a.m., bingo at 11, and a picnic at noon. Bring your own or pre-order a chicken dinner by calling 867-1167. The Nightspot Restaurant in downtown Frankfurt is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Luckily, the work is divided among the 4 Palumbo siblings, Alex, Frank, Tammy, and Teresa.
There was music in the valley. There was music in the air. There was music all around.
The Nightspot Restaurant has been here in Frankfurt since 1974. For that entire period of time, it's been owned and operated by the same family, the Palumbos. Come here, you will be treated like family, and the entrees are all made on premises. nothing artificial. Come here today and order any entree at all, and you'll be given a free small cone. You might want to try the one that I tried, deer tracks. As a matter of fact, that's the clue, the hint. Make tracks to Frankfurt to come here.
And there was music